Time for OSG on CFB as we go single coverage and break down the trophy games and rivalries around the country. This go around this week, it is Stony Brook and Albany. And hanging out with us is someone who is fairly good at his job, someone nominated for the prestigious William V. Campbell Trophy, one of the top linemen in the country in FCS. It is Kyle Nunez for Stony Brook. As a Seawolf, sir, thanks for hanging out with us for the OSG on CFB.
I appreciate you having me, John. It's been a pleasure, getting to know you a little bit.
All right. So for those that don't know, and there are a lot of rivalries that kind of fall between the cracks here a little bit. When it comes to this week, when it is Stony Brook and Albany, Albany and Stony Brook, what does this rivalry mean within the construct of both FCS? I was about to say 1AA and date myself, but within FCS and within that part of the country. Break down this rivalry for me and what it means.
Yeah, so when you talk about New York State, you talk about powerhouse football in our sense of where we love to compete with each other, and when you talk about Stony Brook and Albany, it's two hard-nosed football teams, regardless of their records. Every year seem to compete at the highest level, and whether we're having a down year or they're having a down year, we're both having great years. It's always a battle to the end, and you can look forward to a hard-nosed, physical football game that will always have a lot of talent run around the field, and I'm just excited to go compete again with them.
What was your first exposure to this rivalry when you had your moment of, whoa, this one is different?
So it was actually my redshirt year. I was on the sidelines supporting the team. And 2017, we had a team full of talent. I mean, just everywhere around the football. And honestly, we were better than them on paper in every sense. And they came to Stony Brook and they took us to overtime. It came down to the last play and a two-point conversion. We deflected the ball and then we won. And I was like, wow. The celebration afterwards, running around with the trophy, it's something that you can't really explain unless you're actually in it and involved in it. And when that happened, it was like, I can't wait to be a part of this. And it's been a blessing to be able to do that for the last 5 years.
So this trophy, do you get individual time with it? I mean, is it like one of those Stanley Cup things where when you get the golden apple, does it something that hangs with you with each player for a little bit, or do you just get to touch it and it goes in glass? How does this work?
No, I mean, depending on, so we'll have it on the bus ride home. I'm sure guys will be able to have their time when it, God willing, we win. But when we won it here last year, the older guys had their fair time with it. We got to take it around and all that. But then it stays in the coaches' offices after that. But he lets us make sure we have fun with it and, do what we want with it.
Oh, do what we want to and have fun with it. Please explain, sir, since you have opened this door.
I'd rather not say on camera. I think that's something that stays confidential, but we do have our fun with it. You make sure the older guys show the younger guys what it's all about and let them see what, how much it really means to us, especially getting that trophy.
So, all right. So, since you mentioned it that way, I'll go ahead and ask. When you have these conversations with the underclassmen about what this trophy means, and the light might finally come on for them, it's like, oh yeah, it's just it's a rivalry game. All that. It's the Empire Classic. It's a rivalry. When you have that conversation with that underclassman about what this really means, and the light comes on, what are those conversations like?
Yeah, I mean, it is. Anytime you talk about a football rivalry, it just means a little bit more. And talking about Albany, I respect every single thing about them. Always talented football team, always, well coached football team. But between the white lines, I don't like them, and I make sure the guys around the team know that. It means a little bit more when we're playing between the white lines, and I'll be buddy buddy with them after the game, but when we're playing between the whistle, there's no love lost. I mean, we're battling, make sure we're competing at the highest level, make sure that they know that means a little bit more when you play the Great Danes.
When you look at your career, and I know that there are a lot of accolades that have attached itself to you, preseason All-America, All-American offensive lineman. I mean, just everything, all conference, all of these different kinds of things. When you look back at your career at Stony Brook, could you have imagined that with these rivalries that are attached with it, with all of these different things that have meaning, could you have imagined in any sphere that your career would have been what it is as you are now that graduate student that gets to be there and be that influence for the younger players?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a blessing every step of the way, and all the accolades I've received individually has just been an accessory towards my career. I've had such an awesome time with my teammates, the camaraderie we built and the brothership. I mean, it's just you can't explain it to someone outside of a football locker room, and it's been an absolute blessing. And like I said, I mean, truthfully, I would trade all the individual accolades to make sure my team had the utmost success. But we've done a pretty good job since I've been here. Winning the Golden Apple a couple times, competing in the playoffs twice, and we've had our fair share of success. But all the individual accolades don't really mean anything to me. I would trade it all for a win.
When you look at this upcoming game, you broke a losing streak, beat Maine at homecoming. You beat them 28-27. You're coming into this with the frame of mind that you're looking for, coming off a win, going into a rivalry game. I know it's early in the week as you and I are talking, but what has study hall been like getting ready for this game? Because it takes on an entirely different meaning of study hall, getting ready for a rival, where a trophy's in line with you, with your last opportunity here. What's study hall been like?
Yeah, I mean, so when you first break down, you want to put the win behind you, but make sure you ride the coattails of it and make sure you're up on a high and realize that, always as good as you are, as bad as you are. But make sure the kind of emphasis is throw the records away. Stony Brook, Albany, we're 0-0. Let's go win a football game. Coach P's the Albany alumni, and so we got some guys on staff that are also Albany alumni. So they're eager to get this one. I'm eager to get this one. I want to leave this place better than I found it and make sure that trophy stays where it's supposed to be. That's at Stony Brook University.
All right. So, as a TV guy, usually when you're watching games on Fridays, maybe if you're watching a high school game, Sunday when you're sitting there decompressing a little bit after you've watched a little film, game starts, you see the wide shot, title card comes up, and it's the two schools. It's Albany and Stony Brook. You and I are in the booth together. All right. So you're doing color. I'm doing play-by-play.
Right.
All right. So title card comes up. We mentioned that this is the game, what it is. For a lot of these opens, you have those players that are in the spot shadow. When it comes to Stony Brook, who are the players in your spot shadow that folks need to watch for those who are just drifting into this game for the first time, or for those who are diehards in this rivalry? Who are your players in the spot shadow that folks need to keep an eye on for Stony Brook?
For me personally, I'm a little biased here, but make sure that they know the offensive line up front, the five guys, the pistons of the engine, we call it, and make sure we go as far as the offensive line goes. We get, I'm blessed in the sense that people know my name nationally and know my name throughout the league, but the four other guys around me make my job a whole lot easier. And I just want people to know how hard they work and everything that they do weekly. I'm so thankful for it. And this team is so thankful for how selfless this group has been. And I think that's, I would emphasize how much those 4 or 5 guys mean to this football team.
All right. So then we've gone through the open. We've gone through rapid fire where we have all 5 guys there on the screen. It's like split screen with 5 dudes for the offensive line. We go past that. We go into the keys to victory. That tombstone comes up. Kyle's keys, literally. Kyle's keys come up in that low right-hand corner, the low left-hand corner. What are Kyle's keys to victory for Stony Brook going up against Albany?
I would have to say 3 things would be win the turnover battle, control the football, win the time possession, and have 1 or 2 splash plays that change the field's position.
So for those who've not seen Stony Brook play this year, how would you describe the philosophy of a game, not just necessarily this rivalry game, but for those who've never seen it play, how would you describe the philosophy both offensively and defensively?
Offensively, we're going to be able to run the football when, between the tackles at will, and that's what our bread and butter has always been. Whether it's every play is not going to supposed to be designed for a touchdown. We're a team that will bleed you down the field. And on the defensive side, I think our ability to stop the run is very, very above average, I would say, on the NCAA level. Those guys up front on the defensive side really compete with us every single day in practice. So we make each other better. And I say both strengths of our team are stopping and running the football.
And as we get ready for this one, we will be keeping an eye on not just the FCS preseason All-American Kyle Nunez, double nickel on the Twitters, Kyle Nunez 55. Is it just straight up because has that always been your number? Is that what you ended up with? Or when you
No, actually, so I wore 68 in high school. I ended up getting 55 here because one of my mentors that played before me, my 2017 year, Armani Garrick, he was the left guard here. Kind of just took me under his wing a little bit. He was a great guy to me, and I loved the way he played, and I wanted to represent that number in the right manner. So I did everything I could to do it the right way.
And you are certainly doing that. It is a 1:00 kick in Albany, and you can catch it on Flow Football and however you access your Stony Brook Seawolves football all season long. Thanks for hanging out with us here. You have survived single coverage. It has been one-on-one blocking. You have shed the block, and you've moved the chains. Congratulations. Good luck this weekend. You've survived the OSG on CFB.
Appreciate it, John. God bless.